Good morning, my fellow Africans and the world at large. This is Emmanuel Kojobensa once again, coming into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Today is the 15th of July in the year 2022, and the Bible says this is the day the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. And for that matter, I take this opportunity to invite the whole world, any man or woman listening to me or hearing my voice, to join me to give thanks to God for the day that He has granted unto us. And life in general, life is beautiful, life is wonderful, life is glorious, life is God Himself flowing through all things, including mankind. Today, I'm going to speak to you on the topic, what you persistently think upon grows. I repeat, what you persistently think upon grows. And this topic is in relation with the universal law of growth. Everything in the universe grows, whether we are aware of it or not. That is the truth. So, in our life, we are always conscious of growth in the vegetative life, including plants, animals, and human beings. But even if you look at the non vegetative life, such as the rocks and all those things, they also grow. And if you look at the rock that you may be sitting upon or that was used to create your house or whatever, a rock that is just lying outside your house, you may think that it didn't grow, but it grew to become what it is. And then it started wear and tear. And it could wear or it could be tear, reduced to a smaller or even the minutest particles of it. And so everything in our universe is about growth. It's about growth. And what you persistently think about grows in a similar fashion. So even in our own lives, when you grow two plants, if you persistently water one and leave the other one, the one that you persistently water grows, and the one that you don't water dies. So it is. If you have two animals, the one that you persistently feed and properly taking care of will live and flourish, and the one that you neglect will also perish or die. So everything is about growth. And so today we're going to look at the law of growth in relation to our mind and our thoughts. So whatever thing that you persistently think upon or think about grows. And that is why Ralph Waldo Emerson said, a man or woman is what he thinks about all day long. You are what you think about all day long. So whatever situation that you are going through, whether sickness, whatever, poverty, or whatever, is about you persistently thinking thoughts about this particular situation that has become embedded in your life, that becomes your reality. And that is the truth of life. So the only way that you can avoid is start thinking about it. So when we talk of thinking about it, people will say, how can I stop thinking about this situation or whatever? I am poor. I don't have money. How can I stop thinking about my poverty? Yeah, but that is the truth. You have to stop thinking about your poverty and think about ideas. And that is the only way. So we are always confronted by an intersection in the road or a fork in the road. And we are supposed to take either left or right. Right is positive thinking. Left is negative thinking. So whichever way, or whatever choice that you make, you get a result based on that particular choice. So you are every day creating your realities. None is an exception. Nothing in your life ever came into your life as a result of other people's activities. No. Even if other people actually came in to do something physically, they are only players and they are the manifestation of your own thoughts. Everything that you are going through, everything that every situation that you have gone through or you are about to go through is as a result of your persistent thinking, emotionalizing thoughts about such things. Sometimes we do these things ignorantly. And by the way we were brought up as society, we are told that, oh, talk about your issue or whatever. And no, but that is not the truth. You only have to avoid talking about the issue and think of something that you want in place of that issue. And as you think by the law of growth, as you think upon that thing that you desire persistently, it grows and eventually dislodges the occurring situation that you don't want. That is intelligent living. So we are governed by the law of growth. And the law of growth, compels us to make choice. And whatever choice that we'll make, by the nature of our thoughts, it will grow into our lives as our realities. And so today I'm going to take you into the Bible and for us to look at this, the law of growth in relation to the power of thought in our minds. In the book of Philippians chapter 4 verse 8, Apostle Paul gave us some wonderful advice. And according to St. Paul, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Yeah. So here, Apostle Paul is presented us with a very definite direction as how to go, regardless of what you are going through, regardless of the situation you find yourself in. It is by law for you to look upon the situation in a positive way. And the only way to look at it is to look for to do this is to think about the goodness of things around you. Look for something in that situation and be happy about it. Rejoice about it. Give thanks to God. Look at nature. Go out and look at nature. Look for some other things that will make you feel happy, even if it is just a video or whatever that you will watch to bring some joy, happiness, and to take your mind off that particular situation. You are good. And as you practice this, it eventually becomes your reality. And by the law of growth, your thoughts or your happiness, your joy, your exhilaration about all that you are actually building into yourself becomes a reality in your life. And that is how we make ourselves, or we unmake ourselves. So there is no other way out of it other than we being persistent in thinking on what we want in our lives, but not what we don't want. So if you are poor, instead of going about asking people and telling people how you were born into a poor family, how you were disadvantaged, the only way to go about it is that to think of ideas, to think of something that you can use as a springboard to move yourself from that particular situation to that. So when you have an idea and you every day think about it, thinking and thinking, emotionalizing it, then by the law of growth, your thoughts will begin to take roots, and it grows, and it becomes a big idea. And then it comes in to dislodge or to overthrow the poverty in your life. If you are sick, you only have to think of thoughts of health. Look at everything from the right perspective. A human being is God incarnate and he cannot be sick. Therefore, you keep on declaring, you keep on telling yourself that you are not sick, but you are healed. And therefore, whatever you are seeing, whatever you experience is an illusion. And therefore, instead of you sitting down seeking sympathy, asking people to do you favors, you take matters upon yourself and begin to walk in the direction of how you want things to be. That is the truth of life. So you are supposed to think and think about whatever thing that is good, whatever thing that is honest, whatever things that are just, whatever things that are pure. Meditate upon that. In some versions, he says, meditate upon it. And as you think and meditate upon what you want in the positive way, it becomes your reality. And so you see in our lives, many people actually do a lot of things. They would say that I have done everything that a man or woman can do. But it's like, whilst I'm doing everything to make things better, it is rather going worse. Yes, it is true. Because on the outer, you are doing what other people are doing. You are doing what you are seeing other people are doing. But what do you think about your situation? What do you think about yourself? The thoughts that you hold dearly within your subconscious mind, that becomes your reality. So you cannot actually think one thing and do the other. So your thinking and your doing, your thinking and everything on the outer must come into agreement, in alignment. But if it is not, then what you think will override what you are doing on the outside. And that is why most people, they do a lot of things. They do everything that they have to do in their lives to be successful or to get themselves out of a particular situation. But as they do it, it is even, they become worse because they do not know or understand the truth of life, that what you persistently think upon grows. What you take to bed, what you sit down to emotionalize, regardless of how situations came into your life, the people that came in physically to cause that are not relevant. What is relevant is about you and your emotions. It's about you and your feelings. What do you feel about that situation? And if you are not feeling right about that situation, then it is your responsibility to look for something that will make you feel right and get all thoughts about those things out of your mind. Forgive those people and just tell them that they are your teachers who have come into your life to awaken you to your own true self. That is the truth of life. So when situation happens to us and people comes in to, help us, they come to show support, and then they help us to lambast, and then we keep on repeating that particular situation over and over and over. Some people, things that happen to them even 10 years, 15 years, they can vividly, explain it and talk about it with real emotions as if it happened today. Yes, that is why you are thinking about all day long. So you are persistently pouring water on this soil. And as you pour this water, the water is the thoughts and the emotions. As you persistently do this, that situation becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. It grows. So that is the law of growth. Everything in the universe grows, but the human mind is a bed, it's a garden bed that we sow seeds. We sow seeds. And when we sow the seeds, the way we water it is persistently emotionalizing, thinking and emotionalizing the similar thoughts. And as we do that, it becomes crystallized. And once it becomes crystallized in your subconscious mind, it is by law that it has to appear in your outer world. And so when we go back into nature and even observe nature, you will realize that, as I started, everything is by incremental. The greatest rock that has ever been formed started as particles of sand. And with a reaction in the environment, with the sand, air, and other things coming together, these rocks, where particles by particles begins to come together, then they form this rock. They grow and grow and grow and become a larger rock. And in the same process, you can decompose this rock into smaller particles. That is the way to actually prove to yourself that the rock was once particles. And so that is your life. Whatever situation that you are going through, whatever thing that you are going through, whatever vice that you are battling, it started with only one thought. It started with only one thought. And then you went on to think about it, emotionalize it every day, every day, every day, every day, every moment. And then it became your habitual line of thinking. And once things becomes your habitual line of thinking, they grow and then they expand. If we are to go back into history, the greatest wars, the greatest revolutions, the greatest movements that ever started with only one person, one thought, one person sitting down, something dropped into his mind. He thought of it, he thought about it, he thought about it, he thought about it. And up to a point that this thoughts and emotions has become crystallized in the subconscious mind by the law of growth. And by the law of growth, people from all other places are drawn to these ideas. And so you see, one by one, people begin to join. And then this one thing that started as one person grew up to be, or grows to become a world order. It is by the law of growth. This is a typical example of how our thoughts grows. So whatever you are thinking about with your mind, don't be ignorant that you are just thinking and it goes away. No, you are creating your realities. So you are daily thinking or creating your realities by thinking upon issues. So be wise and be intelligent. Things that you do not want in your life, do not think about them. And that is why Apostle Paul said, whatever things that are true, whatever things that are honest, whatever things that are just, whatever things that are pure, whatsoever things that are lovely, whatsoever things are that of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So whatever thing that is good for you and all human beings, whatever thing that is good for you and any other man on this in this universe or in this world, you have to train yourself to think in that direction. Think in the positive. Think in the positive. And being in the positive is looking at it from the highest point of view, believing that what you are not in competition with anyone. You are not, no one is against you, but you are all men and women, the individualization of God working together here with even soul contracts that you are helping one another to actually evolve to become what we are supposed to be on earth here. People that comes into your life to hurt you are a blessing to you. Some of them you sign contracts with them before you came onto this earth. And therefore, by the law or by the contracts that you sign spiritually, they must come into your life to help you accomplish a particular task. So when they accomplish their task, some of them, they disappear. You don't even see them. Yes, that is how life is. That is the truth of life. So when things of this nature happens in your life, turn it around. That is for you to evolve, and that is for you to look at it from the highest point of view and think only in the positive, think only in the good, think of it from the highest point of view, and then move in that direction. Then you recreate your own beauty and wonderful reality, regardless of however you may explain things, regardless of how you may feel that other people have offended you, other people are the cause of your woes. Whatever it is, you are the originator because you started the thinking. You started the thinking. And if you don't want it, the only way to avoid it is to stop thinking about it. Stop talking about it. Stop living it. But look of something opposite, beautiful, great, and wonderful. And live in that. And as you live in that direction, all the other things fades away. And then it doesn't come back to you. God doesn't count anything that you've done as wrong, whatever, against you. And when the Bible says that God forgives and never forgets, that is what it means. Once you create the right or the right conditions or the favorable conditions, the right and the favorable conditions comes to dislodge the old ones, and then old one doesn't come back into your life. They only come back into your life only when you begin to sow them and then water them. So your mind is a bed, a garden bed, or a plot of land that you are every day sowing and watering. You are every day sowing and watering your own realities. So be wise from now. As independent human being, created in the image and the likeness of God, You have what we call the creative power, and you have a role in the creative order of God. You are in co-partnership with the Spirit of God, and you are every day creating. Your discord, whatever negative thing that is happening in your life, will go away only when you change your mind and begin to control your mind. You begin to control what you think about. Look at something that makes you feel happy. Look for something that makes you feel happy and joyous, and dwell in that, and dwell in that. And as you do that, you see that by the law of growth, this situation, this thoughts and emotion becomes your reality, and eventually everything fades away. That is the truth of life. And so our life is completely, our realities, whatever we are seeing, is exactly as we have the formation of rocks and other things. The longest river once started with only one drop of water, then it came up, and then it went on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and the water grew to become bigger and bigger. The greatest lake, it happens the same way. Everything in the universe is governed by the law of growth. And it starts from your reality, your personal reality. It starts from your mind. It is your mind that is creating your own thing. So when we say you create your own realities, it is indeed true. Because God has given mankind the ability to create, the ability to sow thoughts in the mind, and then the ability to water it. The water you pour onto the thought are your emotions. If you are able to sit down and talk about something that happened years ago, or talk about someone that is millions miles away from you, and feel it and become so furious about that situation or that person, then you are in bondage to that person. And that is the reality you are creating in your life. You will meet many similar people that will treat you in the same way. Why not free your mind? Why can't you free your mind and think of things that will make you feel happy? A human being's thought is very powerful. And maybe you might have not actually thought of it. But as you are listening to me, after this audio, you can perform your own experiment. Take two thoughts. One that is more scary, and one that is more of happiness. First, begin to think about the one that scares you. So do this in a quiet place when there is no one, either in your room or wherever you can find yourself. So as you begin to think about the scary things, you see that it's like a cloud is dropping upon you, pinning you to the ground. You become frightened, and everything of yours become dark. Now, intelligently switch over from that thought to the things that makes you feel happy. Maybe a certain news, a certain thing or then you begin to think about that. Imagine how you find yourself to be the greatest person, whatever. And as you think about that, the same thing that came to you as if it was a cloud pushing you down, you see that it begins to lift away from you. And your body, everything, your countenance, everything of yours begin to change. And that is how we are controlled by our thoughts. So your thought controls you, whether you like it or not. And it is by the law of growth. The law of growth is real in your life. And that is a mental law. It's a mental law that is governed by every one of us. Anything that you sit down and think and think and think and think and think and emotionalize becomes your reality. So if you look at this in this way, the greatest things that mankind ever created on earth was as a result of by the law that I'm talking to you about, the law of growth. We know Bill Gates to be one of the richest in the world. It didn't just come spontaneously. It was one thought. He got the idea. Then he started working on it. So every day he busied himself with what he wanted to create. He thought of it. Then it became a small company. Then it became a medium-sized company. It became a larger company. It became a world order, a world company that is controlling the whole world. That is growth. The same thought, your same thought is in you. And it is the same way that someone who has sat down and taught himself, convinced himself that he was born into the poorest family. For him, he is shortchanged. Therefore, nothing will ever happen in his life. Therefore, he also sat down, emotionalized it, and created a gloom and doom life in his as his realities. This is the truth of life. And so when Apostle Paul, admonishes us to think only in the positive, to think from the highest perspective, it is indeed true. He was putting across a mental law, referring to a mental law, which is the law of growth. Your life is a matter of growth. You can change it, you can reverse it, or you can move it forward based on your persistency in what you think about. Persistency is the key. So you can do things on the physical persistently and you will never get results, as I stated, because your persistence on the outer must be in alignment with in your thinking. So if you are doing something, or you are a farmer or whatever, every day you are working and you feel disadvantaged, you think that what you are doing is not what you're supposed to do, then you actually speak against what you are doing because you think it is difficult, it is painful. You will never get any good thing from it. But if you look at it from this perspective, that what I'm doing now is what I have, and I'm doing it with out of joy, out of happiness. I am working with all my might and believing that the law of growth will make these things grow. As you do that, you see that a wind from different angles will come and blow over your work. And whatever thing that you need to make you grow, to make your work grow, will actually come to you. This is a fact. This is a reality. So we see that we have many failures. We have people who are failing in this world because they are doing one thing with their mind, and they are doing one thing with their physical body and thinking of one thing. There is no other way that you can be successful in any endeavor without you first developing love and having that kind of passion for it. There is no way until you begin to do that and make that thing obsession. The key word is obsession. You have to be obsessed by your ideas. If you become obsessed with your ideas, there is no way that those ideas will not become a reality. And in the same way, if you become obsessed negatively with some negative ideas, and that is hating, when you become so obsessed with hate that you hate everything in your life, you create a similar situation in your life. So our mind is a creative medium, and we are given the power of thought. Thoughts are always ready. Look, the thoughts come from every angle because we are interacting with the world, with our five senses. The thoughts, those that other people will bring to you, those that you see around, those that your own mind, as you begin to think, your mind wanders, and then all these thoughts will come to you. But you are the power, you are the controller, and you have the right to choose only what you want in your life and let all the other one go. What do you think about growth? So let us become intelligent and wise and begin to look at life from this perspective. It doesn't matter what we are going through. Instead of we lambasting people, instead of we wailing, let us begin to be deliberate creators. And that is begin to think on the opposite. Think in the opposite. Think in the opposite of the things that you don't want. And as you think and emotionalize that, you see that your reality begins to change. It's a part of our life. This is the creative power. This is the creative power that God has given to every man or woman. No one is exempted. So the creation, whatever anything that we see in our life is our own creation, is our deliberate creation or ignorant creation. Today, I am exposing you to this truth that your mind is a garden bed. is a plot of land that has been given to you. And whatever things that you think about persistently in your mind and add emotions to it becomes your reality. And as Ralph Waldo Emerson stated, a man or woman is what he thinks about all day long. So begin to analyze your line of thinking, your thought process. What are the things that you actually emotionalize, you think about in your own closet? Not about what you and other people are having conversation, no. But when you sit in your closet, as you do this, even whilst you are having conversation with people, some people may be talking to you with one mind, but what they are thinking inwardly is different. So what you are thinking inwardly is what we are talking about. Those that you have made it in such a way that it becomes so automatic for you. And if these things are coming as automatic, that means they are in your subconscious mind. And it is your responsibility to recalibrate your subconscious mind. And the only thing you can do is to cultivate the habit of thinking the opposite and persistently, such that your outer life will mirror your inner life. Regardless, whatever you are doing on the outer has no power to change what is in the inside. But if you change what is the inside, it will change what is on the outside. And in one of my episodes, I used the analogy of a multimedia presentation. That it is only the ignorant person that will go to the screen, the multimedia screen, to try to change the images on the screen. But any man or woman that is knowledgeable and understand how these things work knows that the images are coming from a computer, that the projector only projects it on the screen. And therefore, if he or she doesn't want it, he goes to the computer and then change the cassette or whatever thing that is in the computer or the program, and then the images are automatically changed. And so it is our life. We are watching, we are viewing our own life, and it is all about the law of growth. If you are a drug addict, if you are a smoker, if you are a drunkard, if you are a womanizer, whatever thing that you have, it didn't come to you because of evil spirit. It didn't come to you because of, no, they are your own thoughts that you started right away based on what you were exposed to. Now is the time for you to cut it. Now is the time for you to stop it. And that is by thinking the opposite. Look for things that will take your mind off it. And as you do that, it's like you are suffocating those ones, and then you are making those that you want, the great and the wonderful life you are looking for, to grow. You water them, you water them, you water them. And as I started, if you, sow two plants, and you water one and you leave the other one, the one that you don't water dies off. If you have two cats, you feed one and you don't feed one, the one that you feed will live, and the one that you're not feeding will die. And it is the same way. Don't worry yourself about negatives. Don't worry about what is going on in the world. Don't worry about what is going on in your life. But think and be determined to think and emotionalize about what you want to create in your life, what you want to see as your reality. That is the truth of life. So everything is by growth. Everything is by growth. And that is why the book of Proverbs admonishes says that we should go to the ant and learn his way. The ant is nature. Nature gives us so many examples that we are supposed to organize our lives on. Everything in the universe grows. Everything in the universe grows. And so it is your own life. You are governed by the same law. Everything that passes through your mind with emotions also grows and becomes bigger and bigger. You can have an idea and emotionalize it and think about it, work on it up to the point that it becomes a world idea. If you believe, it will become. And so everything that happens in our life, especially the greatest movements and ideas, never came from even the known people. It didn't come from the established people. It came from unknown. It came from people that they call non-entities. They had these ideas and they thought of it. Your emotions are very powerful, and your emotions are your compass in your life. So anytime that you begin to think of something, ask yourself, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? If the feeling you are having is not good for you, that means you are going against what is in you. That is your broader perspective. That is your real you, the God in you. And therefore, cut it short and begin to think of something that makes you feel happy. It is not about what you are seeing. It is about you controlling what you are feeling from the inside. And as you control what you are feeling from the inside, what you are seeing begins to change. And by the law of growth, you can grow this aspect of your life to become bigger and bigger, that you don't even you will not even remember the older life. So life is a matter of intelligence. Our existence is a matter of intelligence. Our existence is a matter of wisdom and understanding. You are a powerful creature. You are a powerful creature. You create your own realities. Forget about evil forces. Forget about these devils and all these things that they are lies. No, you create your own realities. The very fact that you are believing that there is this kind of forces, that is your reality. So they will be in your life to torment you. So as you think about them, it grows and grows and grows and becomes your reality. Now is the time for you to flip it and begin to think that you are made in the image and the likeness of God. You are the individualization of the Spirit of God. And the Spirit of God has no opposition. The Spirit of God cannot be, attacked or whatever by anyone. Therefore, you are only thinking of only what is good, only what is right, only what is just, only what is beautiful for you and all mankind. And as you think and emotionalize, it becomes your reality and it grows to cover other people. That is the truth of life. That is the truth of life. So today, my encouragement to you, any man or woman listening to me, particularly my brothers and sisters, Africans, it is time for us to begin to look for the truth. It is time for us to begin to work in alignment with the laws of the universe. You have done everything in your life. You have done everything in your life, but nothing appears to go the right way. What you are actually fighting is that begins to grow. Yeah, that is by the law of growth. Because what you have in you, the programs you have in you, the programs, what you think habitually, both at the conscious and the subconscious level, there's not much what you are doing on the outside. You cannot change this until you go into yourself. You go at the subconscious level and change it. And that is by affirmation and the spoken words. Speak what is good unto yourself. Your self-talk, whatever you say, whatever thing that you emotionalize, let them be beautiful, let them be good, let them be great, let them be powerful, let them be empowerment. There is no need. Some people make it the habit that they watch horrible things. They watch movies. They think that it is cool, yes, but you are creating a life for yourself. All these things comes in to build something in us. It is by the law of growth. And as you watch it, you become addicted. Those who are addicted to pornographic, those who are addicted to drinks and all those things, it started with only one thought. And then it goes on and on. By the law of growth, they've grown to become addicts. The only way this can be reversed is to think of the opposite. And by the same process and by the same law, they will grow to become the opposite. And that is freedom. That is self-liberation. That is my message for you today. And before I end it, let me remind you once again with the topic that what you persistently think upon grows. And this is what Apostle Paul or St. Paul actually expressed in Philippians 4:8, that finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. And it is the same words I'm leaving with you. Begin to organize your life in such a way that you always go on the high road. Think and look at things from the highest perspective, regardless of what you are going through, regardless of the current situation. And as you do, by the law of growth, you create your own reality, and all these beautiful and wonderful things will come into your life as your own creation, as your own movie that you are sharing with the world. That is the truth of life. And so, this is the time for you to wake up and look at life from the right perspective. Now, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars in the open from falling on us, that keeps the planets in their orbits such that they do not clash with one another, keep you and lead you, guide you, and give you an open mind and a receptive heart, such that this message will land on a fertile ground, that you begin to organize your life from the higher perspective, from the truth perspective, from the perspective that you were made. You are naturally created and born to be in the positive, be in your right lane, and think only in the positive, such that all of us, we will create favorable conditions and beautiful things in our lives. And all of us put together, Africa has been transformed. Africa has been changed from this doom and gloom, from this backward and barbaric life, to a refined, enlightened, and developed existence or experience, such that it attracts men and women from all other parts of the world to join us, to come and live amongst us. Once again, my name is Emmanuel Kwejo Mensah. I am a co-founder of the Eagle Mentality Group, and at Eagle Mentality Group, we teach and propagate information about the power of the subconscious mind and universal laws and principles, just like the one I have spoken to you about today, the law of growth. It is our determination and our calling to raise a new crop of Africans who think and do things in a different way, in alignment with their own laws of being and the universal laws, such that we will create an Africa that is enlightened, an Africa that is well developed, an Africa that is diverse, multiracial, where we will have all people from all walks of life living on our lands, not only coming to look for raw materials, but coming to enjoy and having the feeling and the beauty, or beholding the beauty of the African creation and what Africans have used their mind to do, such that we will all be to the glory of God. For diversity is the true nature of God. Thank you, and God bless you.